Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm sorry that there's been a bit of an absence in my presence on YouTube the last couple of days. I promise I will make up for it. I have been taking my grandson out and it's just been incredible. So I'm sorry that I've not been around for the last couple of days. Anyway, what a decision I had choosing between these books by Karolina Kupakowska, and it's been really, really hard. And especially to choose one that you're not going to have to sit around for hours. So I chose Magic Out, my Caran d'Ache palette by the side of me. Now, the page I've chosen is... Nope, not that one. This, the lovely bunny rabbit. And I'm going to turn my book over without destroying it. So, because you know what a klutz I am, I thought we'd do this page together. I just thought he was gorgeous. Now, Happy Mail. I had, as you know, which you've seen, the 96 set of the gorgeous Arteza water brush pens. And I'm going to show you, I have been playing, and I'm going to show you how I have found that they work best for me. So, we will do some pencil work probably over the top, but we'll just see how I get on. So, that's the new case that I've brought to put them in because they are so lovely. So, I have been playing, but it is a bit of a gamble. So, I'm going to use my Caran d'Ache palette board, which is rough on this side and very shiny and smooth on this side. So I'm going to use the rough side. And the technique that I found works best for me is to put the pen on the rough side of the board and pick it up with my water brush. So, I've got my swatches here in my book, and I was looking at the greens, and I really like all of them, but I particularly like these two here for our leaves. So, I'm thinking if I go in with olive green first, we can deepen that up. So this is what they look like when they're wet. So I redid my swatches. So, let me see if I can find olive green. I should be organised, people. I should, she says. My eyesight is so poor, I'm going to have to get my glasses done again. Olive green, here we are. That wasn't too painful, was it? Okay, so olive green. So, I'm going to bring you in so you can see what I'm doing. There we go. So this is my palette, and if you haven't got one of these, you can get one of those cheap chopping boards, and they work just as well. So this is olive green, and this is the Arteza Real Brush Pens. They are gorgeous. So what I'm going to do is take my pen, and I'm going to put it on my palette board. Just a little bit at a time. Then I'm going to take this is my Stationery Island water brush pen. It's my favourite that I've used so far. So I'm taking that, I'm going to make sure it's not too wet. So I've got a bit of tissue by the side of me and I'm just dabbing it off. And then I'm going to lift by swiping my brush. And then I'm going to come to the page and start putting it on. And for me, this is the way that they work best. So, swiping it, and then I'm just going to go onto the leaf, and then you can spread it out. They are incredible like this. The colours are so vibrant. So I couldn't wait to get started and show you this. So I'm going to coat all those little leaves in this green. I'm wiping my brush off in between just to ensure that it doesn't get too wet, because we only really want the water just to activate the paint. You can see how it goes such a long way. So it's just that one little scribble on the palette board has done all these so far. Pick up a bit more colour there. Aren't they incredible? I'm so thankful for my beautiful gifts. I really am. I can't wait, like I said, to get colouring in these books. I have done, just while I was practicing, I've done a, just a front page, not the nameplate page, but just a front page in another one of the books, just to practice before I came on camera. The paper is divine. I don't suppose it would hold up to too much water. It is not watercolour paper, but it's probably one of the thickest colouring books I've worked in. And I do have my plastic sheet behind here, just in case, but they are single-sided, so I don't need to panic too much. So we'll just have to layer them up. I just wanted to show you just how beautiful these are used in this way. The colours are incredible. This one up here. Okay. So I'm going to do all of these leaves like this. So it could take me some time because I am shaky. So I won't torture you with forever watching me just fill in little paints from my, little leaves from my palette. So I will go off and I'm going to do every single leaf on this page in this olive green. And then I'll let it dry before I come back. I hope you can see just how beautiful and vibrant they are. And then I'll come back when it's dry and we're ready to do the next step. Alright folks, see you in a second. Okay, so I've done all the leaves and they're lovely and dry. But before we carry on the video, I just want to show you, reassure you that there is absolutely no bleed through on that page whatsoever. And at the moment, no buckling either. And that's just a plastic inking sheet that I put behind just in case. So the other thing I want to show you is, in case you're worried or I get any comments saying, oh, it'll ruin the brush tip on your pen, this is the pen we used, which was olive green, and the tip is absolutely fine. They're incredible brushes, so they're not going to be spoiled. Obviously you can't like gouge it down on your tray, but just as if all I do is just as if I was colouring with it straight onto the page. So that was the olive green, and I've selected another couple of colours, but I thought we could start, very scary, on Mr. Rabbit's ear, or Mrs. Rabbit. She's got a little bow. Well, it could be either. Shouldn't assume. So I want to use this really tiny, tiny wording on these, ginger. So we're going to use some ginger and we're going to use some grey on him. So I'm getting my palette out again, and I am putting down the ginger. Now I'm not pressing heavy, I'm just giving myself enough of that ginger to work with. And then there's the tip of the brush, straight back into shape, not a problem at all. So if that was worrying anybody, because I know it did me when I first started. So I've got my water brush, I've got my bit of tissue, I'm just going to make sure it's not too wet. Remember, these are water based, and so they don't need any activating really. It's just the water helps you push them around. So I'm just going to put a base layer of ginger down on his ear. And we can go up and we can go on and rebuild the colour, make it deeper. But because this is not watercolour paper, I want to work in layers that aren't going to spoil the paper. And if I'm truthful, I'm a bit nervous about ruining these beautiful books. So, and I'm going to put a little bit of ginger around here. And I'll bring you back in a second. I just want, there was one other quick thing that I want to show you. So, I'm just going to put a bit of ginger in here. Just kind of where that hair is. There we go. Okay, one other quick thing I want to show you. Because these are water-based pens, water markers, these are quite expensive, but they are beautiful. They really are lovely. You could use any other water-based pens. Now, I've brought a set of 100 of these, but never used them in this way. And these are really cheap. These are dual-tipped brush markers. It's got pencil sharpening in the top. Let's just grab any old colour. They don't have names or numbers, so I've just numbered it with a permanent marker, but they have a brush tip one side, so similar to the Artezas, but the brush is stiffer, and then on this side they have a little very fine liner tip. But you can do exactly the same thing that I'm doing with the Artezas with felt tip pens, so water-based markers, like Crayolas. For example, Crayolas will do exactly the same as this. So, and these are the swatches, look, of those no name kind of cheap pens, but beautiful. They work just the same, and that's those wet. So they kind of work just the same if you haven't got access to the Arteza. So, right, let's go back to the picture and I'll stop waffling. I'm just excited. It's like a whole new revelation for me that I can do this with water-based pens. So, I've got my tissue. I'm going to make sure my brush is not too wet. Swipe the ink. Let me bring you in. There we go. So you can see what's happening. Nice and easy. And Carolina's books are, I don't know why I keep calling her Carolina, it's Carolina, are so easy to colour because she's done all this gorgeous dark artwork and it just looks beautiful once you've got colour on it. So I think I'm going to do a combination of the Arteza water brush pens, and I'm going to put some ginger up here where his hairs are, and pencils. So we can layer pencils over the top once this is dry, and I just think it will look beautiful. So I'm just giving him his little ginger hairs in there, and we'll go around the top of his ear. Put a bit more ink down. Just make sure my brush is not too wet. So I hope you're all okay. Gosh, I've had a busy day at work today. It has been a nightmare. One of those days where everything that could go wrong went wrong. And that was one of those days today. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow being a half day at work. And things being a lot easier. But that's the nature of the job when you work with children. So I am going to do... I don't need to keep putting the lid on the water brush. I'm going to do his nose around here, and any light patches I'm going to do in grey, in like a pale grey. So he's a cross between ginger and pale grey. I think at the moment that was my plan, but it may change. So just being careful around those little stars, and around his nose. Now I could use a bigger brush for this, granted, but because I'm not very confident and I'm shaky, I would prefer to stick with a brush that is finer and I can get, I've got more control over. So I hope your Monday's been better than mine, and that you've been able to have a nice relaxing colouring day, or you've got a colouring evening planned. if you've ordered these books, tell me which ones you've ordered, and then maybe I could put together another colour along and make sure that I'm colouring in the book that everybody wants me to. There is just too many gorgeous images to choose from. But I chose this one because I thought actually it would be relatively quick doing it this way with you. Hang on. Right, so I'm concentrating, what I'm doing is concentrating on the areas that are dark, and that's going to be our ginger. And then I was hoping to put grey in, but I don't know. Let's keep going with the ginger and then I will make a decision in a bit. So, just putting it on my board. Just going to make sure my brush is not too dry, wet, sorry, even. I quite like this ginger rabbit because he's a wild one. He lives in the wild, he's not a domestic rabbit. And so the picture I've got in front of me is this gorgeous ginger and grey rabbit. And I'm thinking if we can put this base down and then just follow Carolina's work, follow Carolina's lines with pencil, he will just look awesome. Definitely want some ginger out here. I think we can switch it up, I think, you know, I don't think it will hurt to have that bit of pale grey in there. And what I'm not doing, that's making sure my brush is not too wet. So I've got a few bits that I brought when I got paid, so I will do a, it's only a small haul video, but there is a few exciting bits in there, so that will be nice to share with you. Okay, right, where else do we want ginger? A little bit under his chin. A little bit under here. And some here. So yeah, so if you don't have these pens, please, you know, have a go at this. It is such fun. And I, so far, haven't felt oh, I'm sorry, could you see all that? I haven't felt out of control with the process at all. Couldn't be any simpler. You've got that many beautiful colours in this set. And you could mix them. Like, you don't even have to worry about that really. You can just, you know, you've got that many colours, you can just pick the one you want and go for it. I'm going to do some more ginger around his eye, so I'm going to put a little bit more down on my palette. We're going to put some darker around his eye and bring that down, or her eye. Fill that in. So I don't want to overwork the paper. Darker there. But it actually doesn't take that long to dry, but like I say, it's not watercolour paper, so I am not going to overwork it. Okay, right. What greys have I got that I could try? Let's see. These are greys down here. So our lightest one is like a French grey. That might be quite nice. Fog grey. That might be quite nice. Let's have a look at my greys. Let's see, did I already get it out? Fog grey, here we are. Okay, so that was ginger. We're now going to use fog grey. Alright, we'll see how this goes. It's a nice enough colour. That is the one, yeah. It's a light enough colour that if we don't like it, we can go back over it with the ginger. But it'll be nice just to have a bit of difference on the picture. So I'm now going to put in on the light bits and then blend this out. Blend those into each other. That looks green, doesn't it? That has got a green tint to it, people. Okay. I thought it was like a French grey, but it has got a green tint to it. So I'm going to let that bit dry and I'm going to switch to smoke grey. Because that's got a greeny tinge, so I'll let that dry and go over it. But we're now going to try smoke grey. Let's try that. We are. Okay, let's try that. Smoke grey. Let's see. Yeah, that's better. That's going to dry a nice grey. And then, like I say, our pencils will go over that. It's going to be quite cute. That's a nice light grey, that's better. I'll let that dry and go over it. So otherwise I'll pill the paper up. I hope you can see this colour. Oh, you can. Well, my screen's picking it up. What do you reckon that is? That looks like maybe a petal. Okay. So we have now got a little bit of buckling, but we'll see what happens when I let the page dry. Okay. A bit more grey here. Need a tiny bit more. That's a better grey. Much better. A little bit under his chin. Oh my goodness, these books are so lovely. Yeah, that's quite wet. Okay. Then, let me bring you out so you can see. So, his little front part of his cheeks, I will wait until the page dries completely. A little bit of buckling. Nothing again on the back. The buckling is absolutely minimal. So, I'm going to go off, let it completely dry, and then we'll come back together and I will go over that, finish the grey off, and then we'll do the other parts together. Okay, I'll see you in a sec. Okay, so this is how far we've got so far. This is how far we've got so far? Okay, great English, Lucy. Right, so I want to put some pink in his ears. Her ears, whoever. And so I've got, let me block everything else out, bubblegum pink. And you might think, Lucy, you've gone nuts, but this is a really, gosh, I have got the right colour, haven't I? Yeah, bubblegum pink. It's quite a pale pink when you add water to it. So, just going to pick a bit of that up. I'm going to make sure that I've got water on this bit because I'm worried. I'm worried, so let's come in. Okay. So, we're going to put some of that in here. And don't forget that this will dry lighter than how I've put it down. So, I'm just going to flick a bit of that in. Better dry lighter. Gosh. Okay. The other ear roll. I'm just mixing quite a bit of water in that because it is quite bright. And I'm just putting that in his ear. Now I thought we'd use Arteza pencils because we're using Arteza pens. Thought it just made sense. There. So then I've got I picked up this gorgeous colour, which is peacock blue. Gorgeous. So I'm going to put that down, and this is for her bow. Okay, get that going. We're going to put that in there. It's a beautiful blue. Colour. There we are. And that's going to be the base for our bow. Gone over the lines there. Now you can mix these and do gradients and all sorts of really clever things with them, but at the moment, because you know me, I'm a bit scared of doing that in Carolina's book, so we're doing a base with them. And honestly, you know, you could leave this as it is. We can do some darker in there, a bit of darker here. So you can do all sorts of really clever things with them. It's just like watercolours once you've activated them. But I'm not brave enough at the minute. Okay, the little pink flowers and petals I want to do, the little flowers I want to do in thistle purple. Now this is a gorgeous, gorgeous colour, and it's very pale. So I'm scribbling out on my board, just gently. Put the lid back on. Okay, make sure my brush is not too wet, and then pick that colour up. And this is going to be our base for the flowers. So a gorgeous, soft purple. Yeah, you can see, can't you, what I'm doing? These are petals, I think, that have dropped off. They are now. I hope his ears dry a bit lighter. They're very bright. I can tone them down with pencil though, so it's not the end of the world. There we are. Another one here. Okay, so I'm going to do all these little flowers in this beautiful thistle colour. The brush is getting too wet. That's why you can't see the colour. So you could work with a normal paintbrush and just have a damp brush, and it would do the same thing. It would have the same effect, but you wouldn't have to keep wiping it off as much as I'm doing with this to stop the dilution of the colour so much. Get that one in there. So you'll notice the colour starts to get lighter and lighter the more water you've got on your brush, obviously. So I just keep sort of dabbing it off. Just trying to get you up here. And the most frustrating thing about the whole process is having to wait for it to dry. There. But could it be any quicker or easier? Now, if I wasn't so scared, I could go back in and do shading. Like, the bows come out quite nicely, but I just daren't, because I'm so chicken. So I don't know if you can pick that up. They have got a delicate violet colour on them. There you go. So I did get I did get coffee, and I wanted to do round his little nose and his eye, so he's got a dark colour, or darker colour. So let's try that. Let's try and be a little bit brave. Okay. So let's do it round his nose. Let's do it on his little nose. See what happens. Yeah, so you can sort of blend them out. You know, go from where you want it darkest, and then just push the colour around so it fades out a bit. Just like you would with watercolour. There we are. That's a bit better. Right, now I've got to do it on his eye. So you watch my hand shake now and it'll go all over the place. Watch. Alright. And any crinkling that we've got in the paper will flatten out when we put pencil on too. Yeah, I've gone over slightly there, but I can use a bit of Posca if I need to, or white gel pen. There. So, uber quick and uber easy. There we go. So the next time I come back on, we will use the Arteza pencils, and we will start putting the fur in and some definition on these. I mean, I did pick out a darker green. I picked out seaweed green if you felt brave enough to do some of these leaves. That's quite a bluey green. Let's see. I just want to see what that's like on a piece of paper first. Yeah, to me that's a bit too blue. I'm not going to risk it, people. I'm going to do it with pencil. But there are so many beautiful greens in this set that if you wanted to, you know, do your shading with them, you absolutely could. Or we could even just go back in with the same colour. I might do that, go back in with the same colour and deepen it up. Let's have a look, see how that works. So I want my olive green. Let's come back in a minute, just experimenting, people. Let's take my olive green, because this is not so scary. Olive green. Check my brush is not... There we go. Pick up some of that colour. And we're down here. So let's put another coat of that there. And bring that out a little bit. Let's see what happens. And you don't have to do everything with pencil. And that might actually be quite nice. With just building the colour up with that same colour. I quite like that. Let's go underneath. So you just get the different tones of green going on in there. What do you think? Yeah, I quite like that. So I might do that actually. Build the colour up. Oh, just put my hand in it all. Build the colour up. What was I just looking at? With the same colour. There. I don't know why that one's looking like... Oh, it's because it's wet. There you go. So I'm going to let that dry, and I'm going to go over... I am going to go back over the leaves, but with the same colour, so that olive green, and I'm going to put some deeper bits in. And then when that's completely dry, we'll come back and we'll do our pencil work together. Alright, I'll see you in a second. Okay folks, so I did go over the leaves again, but I did these down the bottom and I think they look so much better. So I've got my Artezas ready and I've got the colours out. Can you believe it? Apart from the ear. That had to happen, didn't it? So, let's come in and have a look at this fur. Okay, here we are. So at the moment I've just got 3 pencils out and we'll see how that goes. We might need to add to it, we might not. So I've actually got the Ginger A112, Cocoa Brown A036 and Burnt Umber A119. So let's go in with the Ginger, which is the colour we put down from the Arteza pens, and I am nice and dry. And you'll see Carolina's even. Oh, I've got so much shadow. Sorry. You'll see Carolina's lines, and I am going to use the Ginger and flick that fur in. So I'm just flicking over Carolina's lines where we put that ginger down. I haven't used the Artezas in the longest time. I don't know why. So this might reignite my love of them, because they are beautiful to colour with. So we're flicking that ginger in, so this will give us all that texture, but it will be quick because we don't have to worry about where the fur lines are. They're all in there for us. Put the ginger in. Flick it out there. That's the eye. There. Okay, a few more in here. Okay, right. Then we've got, let's try Cocoa. See what happens with Cocoa. So we are going to put the Cocoa in the deepest part. So I'm going to put a little bit in his nose. In the corners of his nose. Because that definitely needs to be browner. And then where it's darkest, we'll put that Cocoa in and flick it out. And hopefully he'll start to look like a little rabbit instead of just a flat picture. I'm just occasionally turning my pencil round to keep that point. There we go. We can put that in there. Bring that out onto those eyelashes too. So all in here is dark. Got any other browns? We've got raw umber. We could try raw umber. That might go quite nicely with the ginger. Okay, then we've got the burnt umber, which is very dark, so I'm going to just stick to, I'm going to bring that round on his nose, because that came out quite pinkish, that colour I put down, so I'm just going to lightly shade over that. That's better. That's better. And then we can flick that into those really dark bits for our deep shadows. Like that, around here. And it will just take a little bit of time to let it, all those little strokes that you're putting in build up. Okay, let's try that. Let me get that, what did I say? I said raw umber. That might be quite nice. So here's my Artezas. Raw umber. There it is. Let's move those to one side. So, yeah. Raw umber. A132. And let's flick a bit of that in too. Just so he's not all ginger. It's got a little bit more interest. Okay, so this is darker than the ginger, so we can use it to, on his little nose again, look. Fill that bit up. And then we can just use it to bring those darkest colours in. I like that with that ginger, that's nice. I'm just doing short strokes because he hasn't got long hair. He's not a fluffy one. In my head, anyway, people. Bring some more of that out. There. And then we're going to go back to the ginger. Put that back in. Just to ensure that they're all blending together. Put a bit more of that cocoa up this centre bit. There's quite a bit of quite a few dark strands there up his nose. I just want to fill these bits in. And then I'm just going to keep playing, so I'm going to take that raw umber. I really like that with the ginger. There. A bit more ginger. Hang on, sorry, bear with. Sorry about that, my husband wanted to show me something. So yeah, I'm just carrying on with the ginger. And I'm just going to play until I'm happy. There. That's quite cute. Alright, let's have a look at the ears. So I didn't select anything for his ears because I'm stupid. Okay, I'm going to try a little bit. I've got white here. I've got the white in case I need it, but I'm going to try and tone it down a little bit with Peaches and Cream. Can you see that? There you go. Peaches and Cream 8022. So let's try and just put some flicks in there. Not too much. I'm not going to go hog wild with it. And then I'm just going to take that white and put some of that in there. That white, by the way, works really well over the Arteza pens. Yeah, I'm pleased with that. That's toned that down quite nicely. Let's do it on this here. And we'll bring the white in. Because this bit was very dark, but then it is shadowed, I suppose. Put some more of that in. Okay. Right, I still feel that this needs a little bit more of something much lighter to blend with. What have we got? Ginger. Let's try Camel. Let's try a little bit of... We've got yellow ochre, we could put that in if necessary. And we've got Camel. Let's try that. I just feel it needs a little bit of tweaking. So let's try Camel A110. Right, let's try a little bit of that. That's better. It needed just lifting a little bit. And if you just get the right combo, it works better. Right, let's put in a little bit of yellow ochre. Where is yellow ochre? Okay, let's try. Not too much because it's quite bright. We'll just stick to a little bit in there. Okay. Yeah, I like that. That looks cute. So, for our bunny rabbit, then we've got quite a few colours now, but as you can see it's not that scary. We have got, let's recap, we've got, our darkest is Burnt Umber, Cocoa Brown, Ginger, Raw Umber, Camel Brown, and Yellow Ochre. So let's do the ear again together. I'm just going to have to tilt you a minute. Come with me. Let's do this ear. I have to move out slightly. Oh, there you go. Alright, so I'm going to start with the ginger as we did before. I'm going to start with ginger and we're going to start putting those first strokes in. Now I'm not trying to do too long a strokes, I'm trying to keep them quite short so that he doesn't look like too bushy. Make some out there. Out here on the edge of his little ears. Okay. And then just keep building it up with that ginger. Yeah, okay, that was ginger. Then we're going to go in with, let's go in with our darkest, which is Burnt Umber. And let's put that real dark colour in. I'm going to try and keep those strokes short. Let's fill that in. Give them a few little tufts there. Fill that up. Okay. Maybe we need a little bit more. I'm playing down here again with his face. I don't know, I just don't seem happy with it. I'll have to fiddle. I think it could do with like a sort of a beigey colour in there. We might put some of like the mushroom grey or something in it too. So I'm just going over all these dark colours. Ensuring they're all filled in. Bring those tufts out. Like that. Right, then we'll go in with our cocoa. Start pulling that out. Put some cocoa tufts in there. Okay. See, maybe that's what I'm missing on his actual face, is a little bit of the darker cocoa brown. I don't know. We'll carry on. Alright, then I'm going to use raw umber. We'll bring that in. I think that's what it's missing, a little bit of that, more of that cocoa on his face, if I'm honest. Okay, then we'll use camel brown. And then just a teeny tiny bit of the yellow ochre. I'm going to flick that towards the edge here. There we are. One ear roll. Now I'm thinking that we need more cocoa on his face. Just something about it is not sitting right with me. So I'm putting more cocoa on there. I think he's just too red. I'm just going to put a few streaks of this cocoa in. And hopefully that will tone that down. Which I think it is already. So I'm staying in the direction, the lines that we've been given. There we go. That's better. So, and then it's just a question of keep flicking until you're happy with the image. I mean, you really don't have to go to all this fuss with Carolina's books because all the details there. Okay, right, I'll faff off camera. You know the colours that we're going to use for all the brown bits. So I picked out some greys, and at the moment I've only got 3 greys. So I have got smoke grey. I've got smoke grey A107, concrete grey A157 and shadow grey A156. Now I'm going to take the darkest one, the shadow grey, and I am going to pick out our darkest spots. So round his eye. I'm going to kind of let that overlap there into the ginger. But again, just following Carolina's lines. I don't want him to be immaculately neat. I want him to continue to have that beautiful sketchy look that we've been given by Carolina's work. I mean, this book just wouldn't have its attraction if we smoothed everything out and it didn't have that kind of sketchy look to it. There we go. Then I am going to put some around here. Next door's dog welcoming you again. Just flicking it round there. And this bit here, around his eye. We'll put a bit of that dark in there. And we'll bring it out from his dark bit there, around his nose, or his muzzle. I don't know what you call it on a rabbit. Bringing that out, and these little whiskers here. There we are. Around here. Gosh, I hope you like him. It's very scary colouring in this book. And really, really enjoyable, but very scary at the same time for me. Okay, so the next one we've got is concrete grey, and we're going to start to bring that in. Just flick that in. So I'm just going over where we went last with the dark grey, and I'm bringing this one out. He's beginning to come alive, isn't he? Just a little bit. Here he comes. Almost start to see his character building. I love it. Turning my pencil. Alright, and then let's take this one. I don't know if this one is going to be light enough, but we're going to put the smoke grey on. So, building up from those layers that we've already put down, and the smoke grey is the colour that we've laid down with the pen. So all I'm doing now really is just giving him texture. Which is the reason why I'm going over in pencil, because I'm not competent or confident enough with a fine paintbrush. So I'm just giving him some texture. I might bring that out, going back to the middle colour, and just blend this in a bit more. There we are. There. And we'll bring that soft grey down into his, where he's going to be ginger there, so we can merge the two. And again, I'm going to have to keep playing until I'm happy that I've smoothed those little lines out, that it's not just all a jumble of scribble. There. What do you think? I'm quite pleased with the fact that I did that, give him his little face in grey. Put the darker colour back in, deepen up that with his shadows. Give him darker lashes. Deepen up in there a little bit, around there. Okay. Round here. And his little mouth there. Okay. Back to medium grey, and I'm doing some more flicking. So can you see it is just a wing and a prayer, people, a wing and a prayer. No, it's just short strokes and let it build up gently. There we are. I don't know why, I'm just not entirely happy, I'm not sure. I think I still want more brown in there, but he'll get there. So that more of that cocoa. Maybe even a mid-grey. It's just up to you, just playing until quite nice to have some grey in there anyway. Oh, I like that, that's better. I like that. That's better. Okay, so that's how I'm going to do his fur. So all the ginger bits that we painted are all going to be done in those enormous array of colours. And then at the end I'm going to put a little bit of that mid-grey, that pale grey, sorry, whoops, which is smoke grey, just to tone it down a bit. It's very, for me anyway. There. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Right, let's have a look at these leaves. Let's come in. Here we go. Right, just two colours. I've got the olive green that we used the paint with, or the paint pens with, and I've got pear green. I love this colour. So where I put the darker colour with the paint, I'm going to emphasise, excuse me, emphasise the centre of the leaf. I'm going to kind of bring that out a little bit. I'm hardly pressing, but it does make a difference. So I'm going to do one side of the leaf, go over with the olive pencil, and then the other side with this pear green. And I'm going to come up from the bottom. Do you see it? I've flicked so much that I carried on flicking. You don't need to flick. And then I'm just going to introduce that in. It's just a bit of a variant, a bit of a variation. I think that looks so cool. So I'm going to pick out a dark side. Then put the pear green in. Can make that even darker. Okay, let's do one more. Let's do this one. I picked this side to be darker, so let's fill that in. Bring out the centre of the leaf. And some of those veins. and then introduce the pear. Oh, I like it. I like it. Oh. Let's do this one. Can you see? Okay, let that fade out into the original colour. Okay, simple as that. So that's how I'm going to enhance the leaves. Then we've got the little lilac flowers. So we've got our very palest colour. Then I've picked these colours. I hope they're going to be okay. So I've got Oob Purple, which were like the lightest ones I could find. Oob Purple and Lavender. So A020 and A109. So I think I need a piece of paper. I think this is our lightest, the Oob Purple. So I'm going to go in with the Oob Purple and just bring that out and let it fade into that very gorgeous heather colour that we've got. And then I'm going to take the lavender and highlight the centre. Just push a little bit of that colour in. So I want it to stay all very delicate. I'm just using that Oob Purple there to blend into that that heather. I think it was heather we put down, wasn't it? Yeah. So Oob Purple. So the Oob. I'm really lightly just bringing that up. So it just blends into that. Then taking the lavender, I'm just throwing a bit of colour in there. And then back to the Oob Purple. There. So that's those. Gosh, I'm setting myself a mammoth task here, aren't I, people? Okay, for the bow, I've got two colours. I've got the peacock blue, which we initially put down, and I've got periwinkle blue. So, A0068 and A008. So I'm going to take the periwinkle first and just going to smooth out that colour. I was fortunate with this bow because it didn't, I kind of liked how it had come out, but I'm just going to put a little bit more colour in. And we can let that disappear. Put that in there. And it just enhances it. So now we've got our peacock blue. I'm going to try it around the base of this first. It was peacock blue, wasn't it? Okay, and then we're going to put that in our dark spots. And let it fade out. There we are. And then back in with our periwinkle. Just smoothing that over. There we go. Okay. And what I will do is bring you out so you can see. So this is what he's going to look like. He's quite ginger, but I like it. I'm going to carry on playing with the fur and building that up like I showed you how to. Finish defining the leaves. Well, I'm going to do all the bits that I've shown you. Then we'll come back and we'll finish the image together. How about that? Alright people, I'll see you in a sec. Okay, so this is what he looks like now. And I just didn't like the grey as it was, so I just introduced some tufts of the ginger and a few bits of the browns we'd use on the darker patches, and I like it much better now. So I want to concentrate on his eye for a minute, so I am going to bring you in. Eye. I'm going to bring you in so we can see that. Yeah, so I've just put a few strokes of the other colours in, so it just blends a bit better. Okay, so I've got this gorgeous colour, and it's dark chocolate brown, A118. And I want to have a look at this eye. So I'm going to, where we put that beautiful colour in, I'm going to really deepen that up, bring that out around here, around the bottom here. Okay, just tidy that where I messed it up. And then I want I don't want ginger. What did I just say? Ah, yeah. We're going to try the camel brown, and we're going to put that in. Around there. Okay, let's blend that a little bit better. I can afford to come out there a little bit. There we go. Okay, back in with the camel brown. There. Bring that up here. And we can put some that dark chocolate brown around his eye here. Okay, bring that round, and I'm just going to bring out that camel brown a little bit further and just round that off. Okay, so this is eye. Now we're just going to go in with noir, our black, A012, and we are going to go over this black eye because it's not black enough. We're going to fill it in. I'm going to leave all those white spots, not touch those. But this should make that hazel colour that we've made with that dark chocolate brown and the, what was it? Oh, camel brown. Should make that pop out a bit better. This Arteza black is actually quite a good black, you know. It's quite opaque. There we go. There we are. Oh, my eyes have gone funny. It's too late at night. Can even go back in with a Prisma black if we want it even darker. Okay, so I'm going to take that chocolate, that dark chocolate brown again, and I am going to come round this line, deepen that up, and round here, just so that pops even more. Then I'm going to take the concrete grey. I'm just going to put a bit of that in there, around there. There we are. We can give her some more lashes with the dark brown. Fill in those lashes. How's that? Beautiful, thick, rich chocolate brown lashes. I'm quite pleased with that. I might go back over the eye. It's making my eyes go funny. It's because I'm tired, I think. It's now 8:30 at night, and I would normally be fast asleep in bed. Okay. Right. Now with that dark chocolate brown, see the little spots in his ears? I'm just going to pick those out. So all the little like splatters that Caroline has put in, I'm going to fill those, give them a bit of colour. Now I'm thinking a pan pastel background, just so I can sort of haze it out, and then some watercolour splatters on him, just because. I think that might look quite nice. So that's all I'm doing there, is just picking out those dark brown spots. I've done it on this ear too, so I've just gone over it so that they're no longer black. Put some more flecks of chocolate in there. I'm just giving them some brown. There, okay. And we've got these around his mouth, so we're going to go around that dark chocolate brown, come down from his nose, and bring that out. On here. And just feather that up a little bit. Feather it up a little bit. There we are. A little bit here. Okay, then we're going to do the same with his little markings here. And there's some here. So wherever they are on him, I'm going to put this dark chocolate brown. It's a gorgeous colour. I like it very much. Okay, any more? Yeah, a few more this side. Right, now he needs whiskers. Let me have a look at my rabbit picture. Oh, they're brown, so we're going to use this. So we're going to use our dark chocolate brown, and we're going to try them on his face first, and if I don't like them, let's try them. And just put some eyelashes in that eye, deepen that up. Okay, so we've got some whiskers here, so let's try that. Yeah, that looks quite cool. So I'm putting it at the base and flicking it out. So I'm just trying to keep in the lines we've been given. He's so cute. Such an amazing book. Turn my pencil. couple of little stray ones there. Any more? No? I think that's it. Right. Now I need a brown for just the little branches here. Let's have a look. What browns have we got? I want a nice let's try hazelnut brown. So hazelnut brown 060, and I just want to pick those branches out. So I'm just going to put it on one side of the branch, wherever they are. Let me bring you in a little bit. I don't too much because I'll lose you. There. Okay. These ones. They've got some brilliant browns in this set, I have to say. Down here, so I'm just putting it on the one side and across this big one here, put it on the bottom. I tell you what, these pencils work fantastic on this paper. Any more? Yeah, there's a few more up here. Any more? Just filling them all in. So it's hazelnut brown, just so it stands out against his fur, really. Okay, so that was hazelnut brown. Let's try. I think we've used most of them now. Let's try. What about cinnamon? Where's that? Cinnamon. Let's try cinnamon. A027. I'm just going to put that the other side of that branch where there's room. Yeah, that stands out nicely against his fur. That's good. Oh, it's broken. Up here. Is there any more? Have I missed any? This one must be a bit off centre, look. Okay. What do we think, people? Let's put those to one side. What do we think? I think he's looking very handsome. Now I've got to think of the backgrounds. And I just want some sort of soft, whether to bring it in from the edge I might do actually. Bring the, I don't know. Let me go off and select some pastel colours and we'll come back and finish him together. We've got his little stars to do as well. Alright, see you in a second. Okay, so I've got a selection of pan pastels and these are the tints. You could use chalk pastels or... So this one is Hansa Yellow Tint. And I've got a little... one of the little tools here. Now, I thought we would start at the edge with the yellow. I don't know why yellow. No rhyme or reason. But I just thought it would offset that green really nicely. Are you in close enough? Can you see? Because it's very pale. But I don't know, I just kind of liked the thought of that round that. These little dots around the violet flowers. I thought I might make them stand out a little bit more. Just kind of let that come out to nothing. Spread that out as far as I can get it to go. There. I'm going to do the same on this corner. Bring that out as far as it will go. A little goes a very long way with the pan pastels. I just love them, they're so easy to work with. Just bring that up there. Okay, I hope you can see this. And then come down there. Just let that join. Then, alright, if we come out a bit, then we've got a patch, a yellow patch around here. So we're going to make that the brightest part again. And then let that fade out. Into almost nothing. I like it. I don't know if you can see this, if my lighting's too bright, I hope it's not washing it out. Up here, with this one. In these little teeny tiny spaces. I love these tint colours. I love the bright ones too. But these tint colours work so well for so many backgrounds. Okay. And then we don't have the little light swirly patches up here, but I am going to add it just to sort of even out the page. So we've just got that little bit of yellow going on there. And then let it again fade into nothingness. Okay. Alright, let's zoom out. I really hope the camera's picking up that yellow because it looks so pretty. I am now going to, let's have a look. I've got my Meeden watercolour paints here, and they've got some really lush colours in here. So I'm thinking I want to splat some colour on it. And so, what do you think, people? What, the blue? That might be quite nice. Right, so I'm going to take my water brush and I'm going to take, let's try this blue, see what it's like. Let me just get a, oh, I can do it on my kitchen towel, can't I? Piece of kitchen towel here. Oh, I think that'd be quite nice. Okay, so I am just putting some water in there, getting my brush, letting my brush load with that paint a little bit. I'm going to move those for a minute. I'm going to protect where I don't want any splatter. And then I'm just going to put that, enhance that little bit that Carolina's already put in there for us. Cool. Alright, I'm going to do the same this side. I'm going to get some more of that paint. More water going on it. Protect this bit. And then I'm just tapping my water brush. All that will do is disguise the black. And we'll have blue splatter instead. Alright, I'll bring you in here. I didn't realise we were that far out. I'm sorry folks. Can you see the little dots there? So I'm just getting my paintbrush really loaded up with that paint. I'm going to just lay my tissue where I don't want any colour to go, and then with my finger I am just tapping off that paint. Look at that, that's so cool. And what it will do is disguise the, and don't smudge it like I just did, being a buffoon. It will disguise the black dots that Caroline has given us, and instead make it look like it's all blue. I'm just going to offload some of that. I don't want to overdo it. Okay. Right, I'm going to leave it while the going's good, people. If you haven't seen those paints, gosh, they're pigmented. I'm going to have to go and wash that brush off. Okay, let's come right out. Here he is. Just tilt you down a bit. So here he is. I hope you can pick up those blue splatters on the yellow background. It looks so cool. Was there anything that I was going to do that we haven't done? I don't think so. I think we've completed another page in the wonderful work of Karolina Kubikowska. I adore these books. So if there's a book that you're desperate to see a colour along in from hers, let me know in the comments. I might even put a vote up in case I've done a book that nobody had or didn't, you know, they want to see something different, but I'm just loving them. So thank you so much for watching, liking and subscribing. I'll let you go. Take really good care of yourselves, folks, and I will see you very soon. Night night.